Today we're going to be learning special right triangles. So one special right triangle we have is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So across from our 30-degree angle, we have a correlation with n. That's our side length. For a 60-degree angle, the side length is n square roots of 3. And for the right 90-degree angle, it's 2n. The other special right triangle is a 45, 45, 90-degree triangle. So we have two 45s, so each of those correspond with the side length of n. And the 90-degree angle corresponds with n square roots of 2. So let's look at some example problems. The bottom of a fish tank is a square with edges that are 14 inches long. We want to know the distance between the opposite corners. So what's that distance? So we're working with this triangle where the side length is 14, but we don't know the diagonal. We know this is a 90-degree angle. Since we're working with a square, we are diagonal. It bisects our angle, so that means this is a 45-degree angle, and this is also a 45-degree angle. So we're working with this triangle. So 45 degrees are the n, and across from our 90 degrees, it's the n square roots 2. So since we know n is 14, to find x equals n square root of 2, we can replace or substitute our n with 14, and then multiply by the square root of 2. So 14 times the square root of 2, and we're going to round it to the nearest inch, is 20 inches once we round it. So that's the length of our diagonal. In triangle ABC, angle A is the right angle, and angle B is 45 degrees, so that means angle C is also 45 degrees. So since this is 45, we know this is n. AB is also n, and BC is n square roots of 2. But we are also given that BC equals 20 feet, and we want to find AC, so we want to know what that distance is. So in order to find it, we need to find our n. So we have n square roots of 2 equals 20. So to solve for n, we're going to divide both sides by the square root of 2. So n equals, so we do 20 divided by the square root of 2. And we'll round it to the hundredths place. So 14 and 14 hundredths is n. So that means x also equals 14 and 14 hundredths, since x equals n. Let's find the value of x and y. So we're going with a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So that means this side length is n. That equals n. And this equals, excuse me, n square root of 2. So we need to solve for n, so we're going to divide both sides by the square root of 2. So that means n equals, well, 7 divided by the square root of 2, rounded to the nearest hundredths, is 4 and 95 hundredths. So that means x equals 4 and 95 hundredths. Look at this one. We're working with a 60, 30, 90 triangle. So across from our 30 is n. 60 is n square roots of 3. And across from the 90 is 2n. So in order to solve for n, first of all, we know n equals 6, which makes sense here because 12 equals 2 times n, which is 6, so 12 equals 12. So to find x, we replace and substitute our n with 6, square roots of 3. So we multiply 6 times the square root of 3, rounded to the nearest hundredth, is 10 and 39 hundredths. So here we have two separate triangles. So first we will set this up, and we need to start with our right triangle, or the right side of our picture for this right triangle, because that's the one that we can start solving. So this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So 30, so this is side length of n. Across from the 60, this is n square roots of 3. And this is 2n. So in order to solve for n, we're dividing both sides by 2. So n equals 6. So we know this side length is 6. To find this length, we're going to take our 6 and substitute our n. And 6 times the square root of 3, which is 10 and 39/100. So the distance from here to here of our triangle. So now that we know this height, we know it's 45, so we know that this length is also 6, because it's across from the 45, so these both are 6. So to find x across from our 90, it's n square roots of 2. So we can replace our n with 6, so it's 6 times the square root of 2, which equals x, and 6 times the square root of 2 is 8 and 49/100. So that's x. To find y, we're finding the whole distance, so we take 6 plus 10 and 39/100. So y equals 16 and 39/100. (30, 60, 90) triangle. So x is going to equal n, y is going to equal 2n, and 8 is going to equal n square roots of 3. So then when we can start solving for, we need to find the value of n, so we're going to divide both sides by the square root of 3. So n is going to equal 8 divided by the square root of 3. It's 4 and 62/100. So x equals 4 and 62/100 because x equals n. And to find y, we're going to substitute our n with the 4 and 62/100. And 2 times 4 and 62/100 is 9 and 24/100. Last one, we have a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So we have n, and then 2n. So in order to find n is 5 square roots of 2. So we're just going to simplify it down. We're not working with radicals yet. So we're doing that n equals 7 and 7/100. So we know this side length is also 7 and 7/100. So to find our hypotenuse, take 2 and multiply it by 7 and 7/100. So 2 times the 7, excuse me, 2 times 7 and 7/100 is 14 and 14/100. So those are our 3 side lengths.